Now that you've learned about random values, it's a good time to learn about spawning enemies or spawning objects at different positions or different locations on the screen. So the method that we're going to use is called instantiate. That's what you would want to use. Now I'm not going to use it straight because before even using it, let's create another object that we want to instantiate. So go to Unity and let's create a new object. I'm going to click on Game Object, 3D Object, and let's create this time a cube. Alright, so this is the cube. Now I'm going to select its material and apply another material. I'm going to go with this default mat. Okay, so double click on it and locate the cube. Alright, go to the scene and double click on the cube to locate it. Now we don't see it because it's below, but if you move it, you will be able to see it. Now if you go to the game, you see the cube right there in front of it. I'm going to move it a little bit closer to us so that it's easier for us to see it. Okay? Or just make it bigger with the scale, 555, that will do. Press play. And here you go, we can see the cube right in front of it. Alright, so now what we want is get a hold of the cube. How do we do this? Go to the script, of the dummy script, and create a public game object that will hold it. So public game object, and let's name it the cube, okay? And put a semicolon at the end. Now save this and go back to Unity, and now we need to attach this to the cube, right? So select the cube and select the dummy and drag and drop the cube inside of the cube property here. There you go. Now it's referencing the cube. But how are we going to spawn it? Go back to MonoDevelop and let's use the instantiate. So I'm going to remove the two backslashes and I'm going to do instantiate, and they want the name of the original one. It's the cube, right? So we want to instantiate the cube, and now you want to know where do you want to instantiate it. So we can change the position here. So they want a vector, so I'm going to do a new vector 3. So I'm creating a new position, vector 3, and the position would be the position of this object. So this, or actually the cube dot position dot transform dot position dot x plus random number, and then just put the cube dot transform dot position dot y, and then the cube dot random dot transform dot position dot z. All right, so right now, as you can see, we have the x, y, and z of where it goes, but the great thing here is that the x position on the x-axis is random also because we add this random number. Now we're not finished. Right after this, right after the semicolon, put a comma, and we need to put the quaternion, which is the rotation of this object. Right here it's asking for quaternion. So just put quaternion with an uppercase Q dot identity, and that gives you the default quaternion, which is basically the when the object is standing up. All right, and now close the parenthesis, and that's it. At this point we are done. Okay, so now just for the sake of seeing it better, I'm going to press enter here so that you can see it on different lines. Okay, so as you can see, you have the cube, then you have the new vector for the position, and then the quaternion for the rotation. Save this, file save, and now every time I'm going to press the mouse button, this will instantiate or create a new cube. Go back to Unity, and now go to the game and press play. Now we may not be able to see it because it might be very far, but still I'm going to press play, and as you can see, it's creating new objects. As you can see, you see the cube 2 and so on. Alright, so keep on going and this will add more cubes. There you go. Now, the reason why the red dummy is moving is that because we have another method that we created earlier that did that to it, okay? But remember, the cubes are getting created. We don't see them, but if you go to the scene and you click on any of these cubes, you will see them. But as you can see, they are very far from the entrance. So, to fix that, that's not a problem. We're going to do a range of, instead of 1000, we're going to do 0 to 50. Save this, Command S, and now go back to Unity, press play, and that's it. Now pressing start, as you can see, there's a cube here and another. As you can see, there's a bunch of cubes that are getting added. Alright, so that's perfect, that's exactly, and if you keep clicking, this is going to fill up the whole place with cubes. Alright, So that's it. At this point, you guys know how to spawn any objects. It doesn't have to be a cube. It could be also the dummy. It could be even a camera if you want, or any types of enemies, any characters. If you want to go and spawn more advanced characters, the Crossy Road game that we use in another course is a great one to take a look at.